100% my fault. Hey, what's up you guys, ShartimusPrime here doing another SH Figuarts figure review on the Bandai Tamashii Nation's Dragon Ball Z Broly figure. We're trying to get this figure, it is sold out at BBTS, so happy hunting, looking for this guy. A very large figure over here. Check it out next to the Vegeta packaging. That is huge, man. This is a very, very tall guy. And then looking around the side, you see a product shot, it says Broly right over there. Again, a bunch of product shots, simple style and heroic action, molding, movable rumba. Then moving over here, you see the face of Broly kind of wraps around the front. It says Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan. At the bottom, you get some nice gold writing where it says Broly. Anyway, let's get to it and crack this thing open. Here's Broly out of the packaging, and what a fantastic piece this is. This is awesome, man. Look how big. It's just a really huge, big SH Figuart figure. So it's got tons of articulation still. The paint sculpt is awesome, and it is just a very, very massive piece, man. I just think this thing is so cool. And the weight of it's pretty cool too, because it's not super heavy, and it's not a light piece either. So they have some parts of it that are hollowed out over here. So he has some decent weight to him, which is pretty nice. I like having that. I mean, like most of the SH Figuart stands, you get these 3 ports over here, but this one has 2 stands that comes with it. This is kind of like the regular one that comes with most of these types of figures, and you can just plug in one of the energy effects right there. And then you get this massive clip because Broly is a big dude. And here are the 3 energy effect pieces that he comes with, capable of destroying a whole planet, which is really cool. These are all made with this translucent green plastic, and it has some white overspray right here, which looks really clean. I'm really liking these a lot. I'm liking all these little spikes right over here. They do help him hold it, even though I kind of wish the figure had hands that had pegs sticking out of them, so you could just place these in there. Then Broly comes with 6 different interchangeable hands. You get a pair of fisted hands right there. You get his McGrabby hands, and then you get these wide open hands, and I think they're all sculpted really well. You can see the lines sculpted right there for each of the fingers. You can see the fingernails right over there. The grabby hands look great, like how the back of the hands look. And the figure comes with 3 different head sculpts, all of which are awesome, especially like this one right over here. I love the smirk right there. That is sick. And I like the white paint over the eyes. That came out very clean. See the earrings on all 3 of these face sculpts, and the ears look great. I think they did a fantastic job. So here's the serious one. Looking really cool. The eyebrows, everything about them is very clean. Now switching these out isn't too hard. What you want to do is remove this front hair piece actually. And you can see right here, we'll talk about the articulation more in a second, but we get 2 different ball joints right there for the head and neck section, and I really like that a lot. You can take one of these faces and you can see the 2 little pegs sticking out of there. You're going to plug this right into the lower section, take the hair and place that right back on top. Now looking at the hair sculpt for this guy, it is truly awesome. So many details in here. I love this light green over here. And as you can see some of the hairlines right there at the very top. I think that looks great. These spikes are very, very pointy. You want to be careful with these. I don't think you could actually really hurt yourself with them, but they are sharp and pointy, and they look amazing, man. I love that green detail though. That looks really, really cool. This guy is freaking buffed, man. This thing is just gigantic. I think the articulation works very well for this figure. I guess some people could complain that the articulation chops things up or whatever. I'm a big fan of articulation. I think SH Figuarts has done a fantastic job at really bringing a lot of nice paint sculpt to this without destroying it with the articulation. I think it looks great, man. And again, the paint is really clean on this. I like how it comes through with all these lines. You can see he has some nice gold paint over here for his necklace piece. I really like this blue gem looking piece right there. It looks like it's made out of an actual stone. I think that is really nice. As you look closely at these Broly nips, you can see that there's this plastic lining kind of coming around to the bottom of the nipple right there and coming across the top. And I'm not sure what that is. I think that's a molding crease, but I don't think the placement of that is very poor at all. So if you're going to have some lines come through, at least have it textured to kind of match the figure. But you know, I do notice them, they are there. The lower section of the torso came out very clean as well, and there's all this articulation in this, and the sculpting runs all the way through, and I really appreciate that. You get another one of these realistic looking stones over here. I think the shadowing effect over the red looks fantastic. A lot of nice sculpted lines in there. It looks really cool. This red piece is awesome. It's actually quite a few pieces. You can see that this is an articulated piece. Then you get 2 other pieces for the sides, and then another piece on the back over here. Musculature on the back of the arm looks great as well. Again, these forearm pieces look great over here. I love how that blue looks. Looks so realistic. And we get some blue paint over white over here, looking really cool. These are really nice sculpted wrinkles, and very impressive part of it too is that the sculpt goes all the way through. Even as you bend these legs over here, you can see that, you know, the sculpt does not stop. They're very consistent with this. I really like that. These calf pieces right over here, I'm loving these blue stones. This looks great. The feet look pretty good on the figure as well. Some nice gold paint apps through and through. No peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Now the articulation on this piece is very, very impressive. I really like it a lot. There's tons of points of articulation, especially for how bulky he is. Now that double jointed neck thing that we had seen earlier, that allows the neck to detach from the head over here. Unfortunately, it doesn't help him look up. I cannot get the figure to look up, but as you can see, I'm going to grab underneath right over here, and then it's going to kind of detach like that, but it's not going to come apart, you know what I'm saying? It has those two joints. And what that does, it allows you to make him look all the way down like that. Again, you know, try to make him look up more, but not really. He can rotate all the way around over here. You do get some neck pivot as well, and then you can put it back right in there, so that's pretty neat. He has these shoulder joints right here that can move. It's like an armpit joint that moves in and out, and that shoulder joint moves up and down and can rotate right there when it's attached to the inside of the torso. And then you have an actual shoulder joint that's on a hinge right here that moves outward. You can make it rotate forward. You get a bicep swivel. He does have double jointed elbows. He bends a lot more than 90 degrees. I like that a lot. And he does have wrists that are on a ball joint over here. He does have a diaphragm joint, and it does allow him to bend backwards. I'm trying to really show this. Bends back that much, bends forward that much. You do get some rotation at the diaphragm joint, but not a whole lot, and it does pivot a little bit too. You do get some crunching right there at the abs, but not a whole ton. He does rotate side to side at the waist, and not much pivot at the waist. Now he has these joints right here on these flaps right here, and you can see that you get one joint right there that allows that to move up. You get this other ball joint hinge right here, and another ball jointed hinge right over there. So you get three of those, and you could lift these all the way up like that, so you get a lot of movement over there. This back panel has no articulation at all, and then you get a hinge that moves up and down right at the hip, and then you can move the leg outward that much. He can kick forward quite a bit. You do get double jointed knees, which are kind of tricky to see, but let's make that happen. And there you can see all the sculpted detail. That looks great. Then the ankle can rotate side to side. You do get down and up movement, a beautiful ankle pivot, and toe articulation. Magnificent, man. That is a masterpiece right there. For an SH Figuarts, this guy is gigantic. He's standing at 9 inches tall. Here's Broly next to Super Saiyan Goku and Perfect Cell over here. I think Broly and Goku look like they're in perfect scale together. Guess before Broly, now Perfect Cell was the next largest SH Figuart figure I had. And here's Broly next to the largest figure I have from Bandai Tamashii Nations, and this is the SH Monster Arts King Ghidorah. It's really hard putting these things side by side like this because the perspective is all off. You know what I mean? It looks like King Ghidorah's head is right next to Broly's, but no. You know, this is, my hand is like right with King Ghidorah right there, so it's kind of hard to tell, but their feet are on the same plane. Here he is next to the Marvel Select Hulk figure, and then here he is next to the Marvel Legends Face-Off Hulk figure. My brother and I were having a discussion who would win in a fight, Broly or Hulk. I think the answer was Broly. And speaking of green, here he is next to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Again, I cannot sing this figure's praises enough. There were some joints that did pop off on me. I did have the ankles pop off. I did have a separation right over here at the waist. It took a little bit of lining to get the waist in there. The ankles popped right back in very easily, so nothing's broken at all. It's totally fine. Hope you guys liked my video. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe, and check out my last two videos over here. And if you're not already subscribed to the ShartimusWang channel, check it out for my daily vlogs. And also check out toynewseye.com for a photo gallery of images from this review. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
That's crispy.
Now, if you look closely to the Broly lips,